So the question how to read the Bible is, well, a question, and I'll answer that, or I'll give something to that. So the first book of the Bible, Genesis, has 50 chapters. It's also the book of creation. I mean, for classification. The second book of the Bible, Exodus, has 40 chapters. It's the book of bondage. Leviticus, the third book of the Bible, has 27 chapters. The book of offerings, and although it has less than the first two, that does not mean it's easier to read. Numbers, 36 chapters, the book of planning, and there will be a lot of planning. Deuteronomy 34, the book of coordination. Deuteronomy is like a rehash of maybe Leviticus and Numbers. Either way, it's going to go over some stuff that was already addressed in other books, and then have some new stuff too. Joshua 24 chapters, the book of possession. Judges 21 chapters, the book of rebellion. Ruth 4 chapters, the book of loyalty. So you want a book that has, well, I mean, it's short, but it's also not just one chapter. Ruth 4 chapters. 1 Samuel 31 chapters, the book of seed. 2 Samuel 23 chapters, the book of honor. 1 Kings 21 chapters, the book of discernment. 2 Kings 24 chapters, the book of correction. 1 Chronicles 28 chapters, the book of lineage. 2 Chronicles 35 chapters, the book of wealth. Ezra 10 chapters, the book of priesthood. So Ezra, it may, just because it says 10 doesn't mean it's going to feel short, but either way, I mean, yeah, Ruth. That's a good place to. If you wanted a book of the Bible to start with, Ruth's not bad. I mean, chapter wise, and its simplicity. Ezra has some layers to it, I suppose I'd say. Deuteronomy, like building stuff. It has the whole building thing. I said Deuteronomy. I meant Nehemiah. Nehemiah has 13 chapters. It's the book of restoration. And I'm maybe, well, between, both of those, you got a thing going on. Esther, the book of courage. That's 10 chapters, and that's, as I recall, it's not a difficult read, even though, some are, just because something's 10, that it doesn't clarify whether or not it's, simple to read. Job 42 chapters, the book of cursing. So there'll be a lot of negativity in Job. A lot of cursing going on there. Psalm 150 chapters, the book of knowledge. If you wanted to start the Bible with a challenge, how about the book of Psalm? With many psalms in it. Proverbs 31 chapters, the book of wisdom. Now Proverbs, that's not too difficult. Ecclesiastes 12 chapters, the book of understanding. That's good. Not difficult. I mean, because Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, they both they don't do a story, they do just like a wisdom, understanding, that sort of thing. Song of Solomon 8 chapters, the book of romance. So, if I haven't gone over these, Psalm, the book of knowledge, Proverbs, the book of wisdom, Ecclesiastes, the book of understanding, Song of Solomon, the book of romance. Song of Solomon has 8 chapters, so it not too long. Isaiah 66 chapters, the book of judgment. Now this has 66 chapters, so yeah. I mean, it's second only to Psalm in the duration. I mean, it has as many chapters as the Bible has books. Jeremiah has 52 chapters, the book of backsliding. And if I haven't said it, Isaiah, the book of judgment. Lamentations, the book of sorrow, that has 5 chapters. Ezekiel, 48 chapters, the book of prophecy. Daniel, 12 chapters, the book of devotion. Hosea, 14 chapters, the book of whoredom. Joel, 3 chapters, the book of desolation, so not too long. Amos, 9 chapters, the book of transgressions. Obadiah, 1 chapter, the book of pride. So 1 chapter, not long. Jonah, 4 chapters, the book of fate, so about as long as Ruth. Micah, 7 chapters, the book of iniquity. Nahum, 3 chapters, the book of vengeance, so not long. Habakkuk, 3 chapters, the book of why. If you want to know why, then you could. If you wanted to start the Bible with the why, then Habakkuk. Zephaniah, 3 chapters, the book of punishment. Haggai, the book of consideration. Now that's a short one, just 2 chapters. Zechariah, 14 chapters, the book of jealousy. Malachi, 4 chapters, the book of treachery. So 4 chapters, about as long as Ruth. Matthew, 28 chapters, the book of forgiveness. Now, after you get past the Old Testament, the longer books are easier to read. Matthew, 28 chapters, the book of forgiveness. Mark, 16 chapters, book of miracles. Luke, the 24 chapters, the book of clarity. John, 21 chapters, the book of testimony. So if you wanted to start with the books of Jesus, the Gospels, Mark is the shortest. That doesn't mean it's the easiest to read, because just because, I mean, you can have a chapter drawn out compared to another one where the chapter is like a minute compared to 5 minutes, that sort of thing, or 20 seconds compared to a minute. Acts, 28 chapters, the book of apostleship. Romans, 16 chapters, the book of truth. 1 Corinthians, 16 chapters, the book of power. 2 Corinthians, 13 chapters, the book of comfort. Galatians, 6 chapters, the book of spirit. Ephesians, 6 chapters, the book of purpose. Philippians, 4 chapters, the book of grace. And I mean, giving you the titles of these just so you get an idea of, like, if you like the title of it, that's probably the book to start with. I mean, I started with Genesis because that's the first book, so difficulty and all, that's the first book. Colossians, 4 chapters, the book of pleasing, or more specifically, pleasing God. 1 Thessalonians, 5 chapters, the book of affliction. 2 Thessalonians, 3 chapters, the book of recompense. 1 Timothy, 6 chapters, the book of purity. 2 Timothy, 4 chapters, the book of preaching. Titus, 3 chapters, the book of doctrine. Philemon, 1 chapter, the book of brotherhood, so that's a short one. Hebrews, 13 chapters, the book of faith. James, 5 chapters, the book of perfection. 1 Peter, 5 chapters, the book of holiness. 2 Peter, 3 chapters, the book of heresy. 1 John, 5 chapters, the book of love. 2 John, 1 chapter, the book of deception, so that's a short one. 3 John, 1 chapter, the book of declaration. Jude, 1 chapter, the book of salvation. Revelation, 22 chapters, the book of completion. So, that will give you an idea, or should give you, that will give you an idea of reading the books of the Bible, which ones should be more difficult, which ones should be easier.